When the rainfall is more than what the ground can absorb, the water gathers tremendous force. And the concern at that scenario is that 2 feet of water is enough to create havoc by washing away houses, farmlands, and even drown human beings and animals. This year's rainy season is intense in northern Nigeria, more than what was predicted. The frequency of rain in most places is beyond what the ground can absorb. The water in the available dams continued to build up. Streams, rivers, and lakes are overflowing their banks. Custodians of these dams located in Goronyo, Sokoto State, and that of Bakalori in Zamfara State observed that the reservoir is under threat. So they are therefore gradually releasing the water to save the dam from collapse. The released waters travel from the dams to empty into the river Niger after traveling for more than 700 kilometers.
This water goes down to KB, Niger State. You understand? So it's what fed all the Adamas along the plain.
I traced the movement and path of the water as it passes along communities in Sokoto, Kebbi, Kwara, and Niger states. I saw that Sokoto was the first exit point for the flowing rivers. At this location, at Rugan Liman, Kore local government area, I was told that the flood water washed away 3 children while crossing the wave of the water. They were yet to be recovered at the time of my visit to the location. The flood rose to more than 20 feet, submerging the bridges and culverts along Sokoto-Ilela Niger Road. A vehicle with 8 passengers plunged into the river while trying to cross one of the bridges. 5 bodies were recovered after more than 24 hours of search. The remaining 3 passengers were said to be still missing.
It's unfortunate, and the federal government is doing all it can, it's doing its best to make sure the dams are desilted and channels are being opened, and they are making efforts to also assist the flooded areas.
As the flood water moves to neighboring Kebbi State, it gained more force from torrential rainfall. The flood water entered Argungu in Kebbi State at night, taking over houses along the riverbank, rendering the habitant homeless. Emir of Argungu, Samaila Muhammad Emira, narrated the experiences in his emirate.
I first received the news, I think, on Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. Around 4:30, somebody called me from Kwaido, which is our first district from Sokoto, to say there's a huge body of water coming in from Silami into our local government. And 2 dead bodies have been deposited in their backyard. And there are animals in the water that we should be prepared. And I called my senior councillor and the councillor in charge of water resources and told them to alert the districts in our local government and also in Karagun that there's a large volume of water approaching. At around 2:30, I went out to see for myself, and to my shock, it was worse than I expected, because I wasn't expecting to be in Argungu at the time. But by 2:30 that afternoon, that day, when I went to see my own farm, I could only see a few leaves above water. The entire rice field is covered already. And after that day, we had another 3 days constant downpour of water. And then things got worse. That led to the visit from the central bank and RIPAN. By the time they came, virtually all the fields were underwater.
This is Gandun Sarki rice plantation cluster located in Argungu. It covers more than 80,000 hectares, with more than 700,000 farmers cultivating the wetland. The entire crops that were almost ready for harvest were buried under the water.
This Fadama land is 7 kilometers across, more than 80 kilometers both ways. Now what you can see flooded here is rice farms. Farmers have invested nearing harvest time. They have made all the necessary activities from land clearing, flood application, everything. Just close to harvest time, we're experiencing this. So it's a big problem for farmers, especially those who took loans, expecting to pay when they sell their rice.
And you think this will affect output of rice?
Definitely, here is going to be zero harvest. Farmers here can harvest as much as 30 to 50,000 metric tons of rice within this area alone. We are going to experience zero harvest of this rice.
Highways like this one in Argungu, which links Nigeria and Niger Republic, is partially closed, showing signs of collapse. Military, immigration and other security agencies were on ground to control vehicular movement at the time of this visit. This farming community, Makera, located less than 2 kilometers from Benin Kebbi, the state capital, has been cut off as water has taken over the entire settlement. Residents have been evacuated from the area. Namongoma is another community which experienced flood for the first time. Houses, farmlands and food were either damaged or washed away by the ravaging flood. I was at the palace of the Emir of Gondo, Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar. He described the ravaging flood as the worst in recent times in his emirate.
The water is there now, but when it withdraws, then we are faced with health, looking for drugs. Mosquito is there. Other diseases are there. So we should not forget it. When the water draws, then that is what will happen. People will try to go and grow something. So whatever government is going to have, they should also think about health. Our hospitals are flooded. The clinics, rural health centers, they are no more. So this is just the picture of what Kabi is going through. But we pray, and we are telling our people, we pray to God, and we pray to federal government. They should not be tired. They know that their hands are full, but Kabi, where we grow rice, we grow millet, they have gone.
11 local government mentioned by the Nine. What is the local government? Located at the Bank of the River. Aouji local government, Argungu local government, Bernankebe local government, Gandhi local government, Bunza local government, Baguda local government, Kokodosa local government. You see? Engaska local government, Yaru local government, and Shanga local government. What's local government as the Bank of the River?
This made them the worst hit by the flood. Most of the communities became difficult to access by road as the water has submerged the areas. I used speedboats to locate some of the villages that were surrounded by water, finding it difficult to move out. I came across this 9-year-old Rukaya Muhammadu with sickle cell anemia and in their need of urgent medical attention. Access to health facility was a problem as the available hospital had been closed due to flooding. There was a staff nurse there. I used a canoe to reach his house. Unfortunately, his house too was submerged. I don't know where he is now, he says.
Because if you go to general hospital, you cannot enter general hospital now right away. In fact, not all the equipment are everything packed to district head of Bagudo.
We are in one of the IDP camps. We have about 5 camps of this nature in this district. I'm only talking about this district alone. Bagudo local government is one of the largest local government in this country. And we are having our communities almost on the riverbank because of the fishing and farming. And as a result, we are the most hit by this situation. We've been having sleepless nights. We've been going around to console them and do the little we can. We've been having some contributions from individuals, groups, and others. Except for we are waiting for the government to do its own part to have a support and relief to the affected persons.
This is the situation in Gandun Sarkachi community at the time of my visit. The young, the old, men, women, including this pregnant woman, are moving out of the area, carrying what they can salvage. Malam Ilyasu took me round the community in a canoe, as most areas are no longer accessible by any other means of transportation. Emir of Yaouri has been following this ugly development in his emirate, coordinating how his people are rescued from the ravaging flood. Though he says flood is not a new thing to the area, but was quick to add that this is the worst in decades.
Unfortunately, the warnings given by the agencies are not taken seriously. Every year we have the same problem of flooding. A lot of lives and property lost. I hope and pray that the flood this year will be a wake-up call for the authorities to start doing something against next year. And also draining of waterways in urban areas is very important. We have, even at local government level, sanitary inspectors that are supposed to make sure that the waterways in the towns are clear of debris. For example, the dredging of the river Niger has started up to Baro in Niger State, but it's stopped there. It's very important that we should proceed up to this area. By doing that, I believe the flooding, if not totally educated, will be minimized.
In the neighboring Niger State, more than 17,000 communities in 22 local government areas were affected by the ravaging flood. The state is housing 3 major hydroelectric dams. 2 of the dams, Kainji and Jeba, have their sources from River Niger, while the Shiroro was constructed on River Kaduna. At Kainji, I was told that there have been significant and constant build-up of water at the hydroelectric dam. To save the dam, therefore, all the 4 spillways of the reservoir have been opened to save it from collapse. It does discharge more than 6,000 millimeters of water per second. Excess of waters from these dams travel across 22 local government areas and empty in Lokoja, Kogi State. The water released from the dams coupled with downpour were responsible for the flood in Niger State.
Dams are actually fundamentally put in place to manage flood. Dams don't generate flood. All over the world, the number 1 function of a dam is to manage flood. Then you take advantage of the other possibilities like power generation, irrigation, fishing. All those things comes after the fundamental fact of having to manage the flood. Now, just imagine what happened this year. We had the highest inflow of over 10,000 cubic meters per second of water into Niger Reservoir. In fact, to be exact, it's 10,888 cubic meters per second came into the reservoir in September. Now, if not for the fact that the dam is in place, just imagine what could have happened to the downstream communities, and in fact, even upstream. We were able to manage that 10,888 cumex by releasing about 5,700 cumex. That means we were able to absorb about half of the water that is coming into the reservoir. Otherwise, it could have wiped off all the people along River Niger.
Mokwa local government area is the worst hit. It is estimated that 60,000 people in Mokwa were affected by the floods, with houses pulled down just as farmlands measuring several hectares were submerged. Sunti is a farming community in Mokwa where a multi-billion naira sugar company is located. The whole community is surrounded by water, and residents using all available ways of getting out of the flooded area. I got to Sunti and other communities in the evening due to lack of accessible road.
Sometimes we have no food. We used to go and buy from the road, like Mokwa. We used to go there and buy the food. We used to carry canoe. Now you don't even see people. If not, they are not full. Every time we have it about 10. We used to go and buy, and so that we used up and down. They will go and come back.
This is my house now, but the water, the flood pack us to the inside the village. We come gradually, and there's one day we come very well, so that many of our properties will pack it inside the water.
Sugarcane worth more than 60 billion naira and other investment were lost to the flood at Sunti alone.
It's an act of God, it's nature, probably due to global warming and what have you, but this year the flood has been excessive, and definitely a lot of support would be required to assist those communities. A lot of support, because they've lost their livelihood completely, and we must have pity for such people. They do not have the voice, they do not have the connection, they do not have the contact. It is our responsibility to reflect for some time, think about those people, think about what they're going through, and do whatever we can, no matter how little, to support them. I sent 4 delegations to different parts of the states. They are back and they reported, and the report I'm getting is very disturbing. People have lost their houses, people have lost everything. For us now, we cannot imagine what they are going through. Only they know what they are going through. We can only think or suspect. So, unfortunately, the resources are not there anymore. So I think this year has been our 60th birthday as a country, has been a very challenging one.
Egagi is the name of this community located in Lavun local government area of the state. The whole area has been taken over by flood, occasioned by excess water from River Kaduna. Only few houses are safe at the moment. Even with that, access to them is a big challenge. The only available means of movement in the area is this calabash for men, women, and even children. All social and economic activities are now on the major road that passes the area.
We have 3
hectares inside water, this side, and they will have 5 that side, this side. And then we are now our foods inside water. Everything don't scarce, don't scarce, don't spoil. So we don't have anything we eat now, and we don't have anything to wearing our children. Some 1 person, 10 person live inside 1 room, inside the town, and we have disease now inside our village now.
There was even a plan in the area of Moregi, in other areas that are going to flood. There was a plan to re-establish the community, the Moregi community, to be another site away from the river. The people feel that, there's a new place for them. So the authority done anything, practically to see that if they move that place, they have their water, they have their roads, they have their infrastructure now. If those are well put in place, maybe accommodation, depending on the type of accommodation they are planning, you should see when the Kanji dam, or I don't know how it's supposed to was about to be the dam there. People were moved to, people were where they are and the present Bogo Pusa, they have been moved to New Pusa. So it's not a matter of like no 2 weeks, but assurance to know that where they are moving to, what they used to have here, is also available there in some of the infrastructure. So I didn't come to please look at this seriously and see how we can be starting these people away from the river course, that away from the likely flooded areas in our domain.
The people are intense. It's not only their farm products or even their houses. There are so many things that are lost, including even the animals. So we went there and we took the assessment. But one good thing that His Excellency did, Mr. Governor did, was to quickly intervene on some food items. So all the committees that went to those various local governments, they have the food items which were immediately distributed to the affected persons. So now the state government have also taken the inventory of those that were affected, and the report is already ready. We are trying to go ahead again to look at what is possible way that to cushion the effect of what has happened to them. Number one is to also support them, because like now they have lost all their farmland. The alternative winner is the dry season farming. But the population that were involved.
Tension is now high in Lokoja, Kogi State. The water level of the river that links Benue and Niger cause for concerns. Though few communities have so far been affected by flood, the fear is that if the volume of water emptying into the river continues, the challenge could be more than what Kogi State can tackle easily. It was a tale of agony in all the communities I visited, just as the people look forward to a lasting solution to the annual devastation inflicted on them by the flood.